What if one day you accidentally fell into the deepest part of a dungeon, all because you triggered a trap? But instead of dying, you ended up summoning a beautiful woman. The story begins as our protagonist, Light, says goodbye to his family. His goal is to become a great adventurer so his family can all live comfortably. Light arrives in the big city where he's instantly discriminated against for simply being human. He goes to the guild to register as an adventurer, and he's given the frank because it's his first time. The clerk wonders if he has a gift, so Light excitedly explains that he does, and it's called Unlimited Gacha. The girl wants him to describe it since she has never heard of it before, but Light thinks that it would be easier to show her. Light pulls out his gacha and after pressing it, it creates a card. Light is very proud as he explains that he can summon whatever is on the card, but this card was just a useless and pointless bent fork. Light assures her that this one was a dud, so he does it again, but it just makes even more useless junk items like a rotten apple and moldy bread. Light says that it's usually not this bad, but she doesn't care and gives him his frank card. Light is eager to go do his first job, so the clerk directs him to the bulletin board. Unfortunately, Light can't read, but in this world, that's pretty common as humans have a very low literacy rate. Luckily, the clerk helps him out and gives him a list of jobs. They're pretty low level, so they don't pay very well. But Light is a hard worker and he's eager to get to work. Light then goes on to do several jobs throughout the day, and he's exhausted. He's also a bit disappointed because an entire day's worth of work only earned him enough money for one night at the end. That isn't too much of a problem for our hero, however, as Light says that he will be good if he can just pull something edible from his gacha. Just some beast folk bump into him, and they blame Light for getting their clothes dirty. The thugs steal all his money, but say that they will use it to pay for the laundry bill. Light desperately tells them to give it back as he won't be able to afford a night at the inn, but the beast folk don't care. One of them kicks Light while telling him to go sleep in a pigsty and they leave. Not a single person around helps Light, and what's worse is that they even call him human trash. Just then, a girl helps him up, but Light sees that she's an elf and he's startled. He apologizes desperately for touching her, but the girl assures Light that she won't hurt him. Light can't understand why an elf would be nice to a human like him, and the girl even hugs him. Onlookers are disgusted to see an elf even just touch a human, and Light is in utter shock. This elf girl got her knees dirty just to hug him, so he wonders if he's dreaming. The girl assures him that he's not, and the others in her group introduce themselves. They explain that they belong to the Concord of Tribes. It's the name of their party that represents all 9 races created by the goddess. The beast folk introduces himself as Garu and the elf as Sasha. There's also Diablo the demon kin and Abaro the Anafolk. The dragon guy is a dragon newt and his name is Drago. Then there's Nanu the dwarf, Sion the dark elf and Santor the centaur. That makes 8 members. So the group reveals that all they need now is a human to complete the 9 races. Light is at a loss for words, so they explain that their goal as a group is a noble one. They want to put an end to racial discrimination and create a fair world for everyone. They explain that they want Light to join them, but Light can't believe what he's hearing. Their leader assures him that they're very serious about having him, so Light happily joins. A while later, Light finds himself being attacked by giant serpents and he must be rescued by Drago. Another monster nearly sneaks up on him, but Sasha's there to strike it down. She warns Light to be more careful and reminds him that they're in the largest and toughest dungeon in the world called the Abyss. If anything hits him in here, he won't survive. Light apologizes, so Sasha explains that she's just worried about him, and she checks in to make sure he isn't injured. Light has been adventuring with the group for a while now, so the others tease Sasha for coddling him as always. They then embarrass her by saying that she can't help behaving that way around Light because all her blood rushes to her cheeks when she is near him. Sasha tries to say that she just doesn't want their party's image ruined by losing a member, but the others aren't buying it. Light is feeling pretty useless right now, but Drago tells him not to worry. He says that he loves the tea that Light makes for them, so he's already doing enough. Light is relieved to hear this, and the group continues on their quest. They arrive at an area with only one exit and Drago decides that this is the perfect spot. Light assumes that it's time for a break, so he happily tells everybody that he will get his famous tea ready for them all to drink. He says that it will only take a minute, but Drago really silences him and declares that Light is banished from the party. Light is speechless, so Drago repeats what he said. Light is still utterly confused, so Garo simply tells him that he's getting kicked out of the party. Everyone's demeanor has completely changed as they're all rude and Garo tells him that he's useless to them now. Even Sasha calls him a stupid kid and says that he always annoyed her. They even question if his ineptitude is due to a lack of brain cells or if it's just a characteristic of humans. They all show their true colors without holding back and reveal that they hate human garbage like him. Light desperately hopes that they're pranking him, but they assure him that they didn't go all the way down into the abyss just for a joke. Light points out that they were also nice to him before, but they reveal that it was all an act as they wanted him to join their party. That doesn't make sense at all. So, Drago explains that this entire scheme was done because of Light's gift. This makes things even more confusing for Light because his unlimited gacha isn't special at all. Drago reveals that their superiors have been watching Light because of his strange gift, as they suspected that he could be something called a maestro. The only reason they invited him into the Concord of Tribes was so they could keep a close eye on him. Light reminds them that his unlimited gacha is a worthless gift because it only lets him summon a bunch of junk. But that doesn't matter to them. They know his gift is trash and his stats are even worse. That is why the superiors have determined that Light can't be the maestro, which means that he's just dead weight now. The others wish that the higher-ups would have made that decision earlier because they hated having to act like they liked him this entire time. Light doesn't know anything about these higher-ups or the maestro, but Drago says that he has heard enough. It won't matter anyway, as Drago declares that it's time to finish the job. Light has never been more horrified as he realizes that he isn't just getting kicked from the party. Finishing the job means that they're going to end his life. It's time to get started. So Garou attacks him and cuts up his face. Light's entire body trembles as the dark reality of the situation sets in and he runs for his life. It's no hope as the group tells him that there's nowhere to run. He wouldn't stand a chance against even just one monster from the abyss, so they suggest that he just let them take his life instead. Sasha doesn't even plan on giving him a chance to escape, and she fires an arrow right through his leg. Go expresses just how much he loves hunting humans, and San agrees by saying that their cries are like music to her ears. Go continues the beating by kicking Light, but Drago says that's enough. Go wants to have some more fun, but Sasha reminds him that they need to stick to the plan. Their cover story is going to be that a monster from the abyss eliminated Light, so they can't give him any marks that would contradict that. Go's ready to do the honors, and he tells Light that he was an entertaining punching bag, so he will make the execution quick. Light desperately crawls away and he wonders why things had to end up this way. Light's despair reaches its peak, so he cries out that he wants to live, and he just so happens to set off a teleportation trap. Drago urgently tells Go not to let Light escape, but it's too late. Moments later, Light finds himself in a different part of the dungeon. He doesn't find any relief in this, however, as it doesn't change much. His body's severely injured and he is sure that his life will end the second one of the abyss monsters finds him. Look can only think about his family and he wonders what went wrong. The adventures were so nice to him and he thought they were growing closer after spending so much time together. Of course, the reality is that they betrayed him in the worst way. Their friendship was all an act and they actually took joy in tormenting him. They were all eager to watch him be eliminated and they were prepared to do it with smiles on their faces. Light's sadness has quickly turned to rage as he now hates every single person in that party and he vows to end all their lives. This anger fuels him and his thirst for vengeance refuses to let his life end here. He vows to make them pay and he swears to rip all their guts out. Things take an even darker turn, however, as a monster appears and Light is shocked to see that it's level 1000. That should be impossible. And it's the kind of monster only heard of in folktales. This makes Light realize the chilling reality that he was teleported to the deepest part of the abyss. There's no hope as the beast approaches him, but Light refuses to die before getting his revenge. All Light has to even try and fight back is his unlimited gacha, so he uses it. Light activates his unlimited gacha repeatedly, pulling card after card. Most are still junk like a rusty knife and a rotten apple, but Light refuses to give up. He must eliminate those that betrayed him at all cost and return to the family he loves. Luckily, Light's efforts pay off and his gacha glows with incredible intensity like it never has before. The beast goes for an attack, but it's too late as Light's gacha has made a new card. A voice declares that it won't allow anything to hurt its master, and a girl emerges, completely destroying the level 1000 beast. This powerful girl clears away the mess she made and surprisingly bows down to Light. She heals him and instantly apologizes for it. She say that she couldn't bear seeing his handsome face and beautiful pearly skin scarred by such horrible wounds. Light is stunned to hear her talk this way about him and even more surprised to realize that she healed all his wounds. The girl asks him to use his beautiful voice to speak his name, so Light introduces himself. The girl calls him Master Light and declares that she will live in service to him. It's the maid's code of honor and she pledges her absolute loyalty to him. Light would like to know who she is after that speech, so she introduces herself as May. She is called the Ever-Seeking Maid and she's level 9999. What's most surprising though is that she's a super ultra rare card that came from Light's unlimited gacha. This girl just wants to keep talking about her loyalty as she says that she will remain bound to Light even beyond the grave. Light needs more answers though, so he tries to explain that his unlimited gacha is basically worthless and there's no way someone as incredible as her could have come from it. May explains that she has an appraisal ability that she can use to check Light's unlimited gacha, but she's a humble servant and will only use it if she's given permission. Light lets her do it and May is amazed by what she finds. She explains that Light's abilities are hidden under a heavy layer of something called conceal and it's impossible for anyone who's not at her level to even see the details. May then reveals that Light's unlimited gacha is far from worthless. It can be rolled an infinite number of times and the odds and rarities of the cards that it produces vary based on the surrounding mana density. The rarities starting from the top are extra super ultra rare, triple S rare, double S rare, rare, normal, and error. Light is a bit confused about the mana part, so she explains that mana is something that flows everywhere throughout the world. However, its density is lowest up on the surface, meaning that the chances of a super ultra rare card like May appearing is close to zero. Down here in the dungeon, however, is a different story. They're in the deepest part of the dungeon right now, and there's tons of mana everywhere. This means that Light has much better odds of rolling a rare card while down here. Ma has no clue what happened before, so she admires Light's bravery for traveling all the way down to the bottom of the dungeon just to tap into the full potential of his unlimited gacha. Light isn't a liar, though, so he reveals that he could never brave the abyss on his own. He explains that he was betrayed and his old party slashed him and shot him with arrows. Light cries as he's overwhelmed by emotions from the betrayal, but his rage comes back as well. He wants to make them all pay and vows not to rest until they get what's coming to them. Just May embraces him and apologizes for him having to experience so much suffering. She tells him not to worry, however, because with her power at his disposal, bringing divine retribution upon his foes will be a simple matter. May then plead for Light to give her the order to hunt down the deceitful heathens and bring their heads back on pikes for him. Light is hesitant for some reason, so he steps back. May assumes that it's because Light is too kind of a person, so she says that his enemies don't deserve mercy. Light responds by saying that isn't the problem. He put his faith in those people and got duped. Then he almost lost his life after being beaten to a pulp and sent to the bottom of the abyss. The root cause of everything is his weakness, so Light has decided that he needs to get stronger. Light acknowledges that it might be impossible for a human like him, but he wants to get revenge with his own hands. Light wonders if May thinks he's being delusional, but she says that she would never think that about him. Instead, she declares that his wish is her wish, and if personal vengeance is what he wants, then it's her job to help him. May says that she believes in his potential more than anything. So, Light thanks his loyal servant. With that settled, Light once again rules his unlimited gacha within the abyss, vowing to master his ability so that he can establish a kingdom that can pave his path to revenge. And he added, if you like this video and subscribe, it helps Mizue create more recap content for his viewers. Activate the cheeky little notifications bell. See you on next video.